away we go.
Okay, so so thematically, what are some of the kind of inspiring factors that are going into that lore? Where what sources of media are you kind of drawing inspiration from?
Seriously, all kind. We play all the game from software, so even Soul Blood 1. After that, I'm a big fan of science fiction, so I watch pretty much everything there is in science fiction. Read a book about those from the Foundation to all kinds of Star Trek and Star Wars novels, Asimov and so on. So it's really kind of a melting pot of all kind of ideas.
Okay.
On my end, it was the first gameplay experiences that I had when I was a teen. I mean, games on the Super NES or N64, they gave you a very lonely feeling, only because they were more low res. Or you think about games like Super Metroid or Shadow Man or Turok. Or I kind of kept that emotion a little fast, but and opened it up years later. One other big thing that influenced the vision is the big metal fan that I used to listen back in the day. So if you read the text from Old School In Flames or Meshuggah or Tool or Nine Inch Nails, they always speak of unspeakable horror happening behind space. So they kind of have that sci-fi horror really deeply embedded into their lyrics, and it always stuck with me all those years. I want player feel like they're playing inside to some degree.
Okay. So there's like all the cosmic horror, space, the universe is big and scary kind of thing.
Yeah, the human's strongest emotion is fear, and the greatest fear is fear of the unknown. So that's the Lovecraft quote that sticks with me. But
I mean, considering the horror aspect, and actually some of the people have commented is this, how much of a Lovecraft mythos influence is there going to be on the game? Like, there's the mention of cosmic gods, which definitely seems to lean on, like, the idea of the great old ones from, like, Lovecraft.
Yeah. I'd like to stay a bit farther from the Lovecraft stuff. I think, especially once the game release, I think it's going to be overdone in the industry. So, no octopuses in Hellpoint.
Yeah, tentacles are really hard.
Yeah, anyway, guys, super expensive to make tentacles. So we're going to try to come up with our own stuff. But it won't be gory. We don't like gore that way. Cheap way to scare people, so we're gonna try to find deeper, more strange ways to scare people. So I think that's
definitely.
I mean, I saw the Fat Jester and what he does to people. That was scary enough for me.
Yeah, you don't need to see inside.
Like me and Arlene have talked at length on our channel about like horror and what cheap we think is good spook. Horror and what we think is cheap, and like gore, jump scares, that kind of stuff.
Gore can be done well.
You're just but you're just kind of eliciting a knee jerk physical reaction to something rather than really preying on somebody's actual fears.
Yeah, when you see gore, it's very first degree. You get scared because you don't want to get shredded to pieces. That's normal. But if you bring some more mind-disturbing fear, somebody that can destroy you with just by staring at you and turning your brain to jello, I think that's even more scary. I know all of your secrets. I'm gonna
right
with that. And so, but I think that's way more scary. You feel like a cockroach just in front of the cosmic god, so we prefer that type of fear.
Which, actually, I really enjoyed that about Namundus, was that he just sort of is very casual in the way he confronts you.
Well, yeah, he doesn't even really leave stance. He just
meditates. Namaste, bro.
We're happy to see that it worked as well. That was a shot in the dark. But it worked out.
One of the things I talked to you about, and you'd actually confirmed this, and it touches on the theme of horror, was you were going to have a form of sanity system in the game. I was wondering if you might be able to elaborate a bit on that.
Part of the status effect. So we have our own set of elements, as you saw in the demo, induction and entropy and quantum and deal. And so sanity is the status effect of the deal in human power. So it works similarly to poison, if you will. The more you raise your gauge, the more your perceptions get fucked up, your control plays a little less well, you start to see stuff on screen and hear, auditory hallucinations and so on. So it's one of the most narrative-driven effect I think that we have in the game, just to increase the pressure and make you even more scared shitless. So,
and the idea behind that status effect is that if you get poison in some kind with that, you have no idea what's going to happen. We're making a kind of a huge list of potential effect, like flipping the screen upside down or inverting your joystick. And when you get poisoned that way, we select a few of that list, and it's random, so you don't know what's going to happen if that effect is applied on you.
You guys know Eternal Darkness?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely. That's exactly what I was thinking when you.
That was part of why I was asking about it, is because 3 games I can think of that have handled sanity really well have been Eternal Darkness. Amnesia: The Dark Descent did as well, because you'd start looking at things and they would be off or change, and your perceptions would go wrong, and you'd get ambient noises, and it would just startle you as your sanity dropped. And then the other thing I can think of was the Call of Cthulhu game.
The video game?
Dark Corners of the Earth had a sanity meter in it.
You missed
You
that
never
one.
saw the meter, I don't think.
No,
Same
you
as
do.
Amnesia.
It's in your menu.
Oh, it's in your menu? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see it in Amnesia. You just...
Yeah, you see it in Amnesia, there's a meter in your menu.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I never played that game.
Yeah, but so a thing about here was when people get insanity, is it going to be something they can just sort of wait it out, or will they have to do specific things to drop it, and are some of the effects going to be more persistent than others?
I would like to keep this in the realm of mystery. Figuring out how to deal with that situation is, I think, is a big part of the experience. So, if you don't mind.
All right. And the one thing I just wanted to confirm, though, is you mentioned something that when the sanity system does pop in, it's not something the player is going to be able to freely check to be like, how crazy am I?
You'll be able to see how crazy you are. Basically, you're going to have a progress bar similar to Dark Souls when you're about to get poisoned. But once you get poisoned, you have to figure out how to deal with it.
Ah, okay. So there'll be like the bar, like when the curse bar goes up, but once it actually goes off, you don't know what you're dealing with, and then you have to deal.
Yeah, it's a warning saying, be careful, if you get hit with that again, shit is going to hit the fan.
Or if you keep staring at this freaky thing that you should maybe stop staring at. No? Gonna keep staring? Okay.
Well, none of this is going to be big on that. He's supposed to be the master of melee power, so the feature is not in yet, but he's the head on show for insanity.
You know, 2 of the spell of Nimondus is the shockwave and the kind of purple missiles. Both of those are supposed to be nail spells.
Lovely. Well, also he drops a moon on you.
That's right.
Yeah, but the moon is supposed to be fire. Yeah, it's supposed to be fire, I think, or induction.
Oh, it's red.
It's great either way. Sean didn't actually get to see that. I saw it in my solo thing where he saw the moon on me.
We didn't get hit with the moon in our.
No, he didn't get the chance to get the moon off. It was because we're both using scythes, and those scythes are brutal.
Think about the moon a bit. I think it's one of the things we're going to try for each of our bosses, which will be a bit different from Dark Souls. One of our approach our bosses, basically the first question is, what's its ultimate ability? When it is really pissed, what is going to do to that it's completely mind-blowing?
Okay.
Yeah, the moon
like
when it
pulling
first
down
shows
an
up
entire
is,
moon.
Yeah.
To give you a big fuck you when you're giving them problems.
As well. Have you been hit by the moon? What?
I feel like someone now needs to make a picture of Namundus, just like his hands going up to flip you off as the moon comes down.
Drop the mic and the moon drops as well.
Yeah.
So are you guys as far as the game engine goes, are you guys building the entire game in Unity, or do you have like a engine that you've developed specifically for this game?
Inside the game, you probably see the logo of Unity at the start. So we're on Unity. But probably a lot of people notice that the frame rate is a lot higher than usual game on Unity. It comes from the fact that our Unity is really not the stock version. We added a lot of custom tools to be able to make the game as easily as possible with the best performance possible. And the performance is a really big concern because our goal is to do 60 FPS on PlayStation 4 so that the split screen works with a proper frame rate.
Okay. So you basically used Unity as the springboard to build your game and added to it.
It's 350,000 lines of code that's been added to the framework. So
Yeah, that was
a few Bibles.
that was like 5 months ago. So I don't know now.
Yeah.
I was the laziest programmer ever when I did it, and when you're like, no, that's so much.
Well, I'm used to games with a lot of codes. If you think of Assassin's Creed 3, the final games had something like 12 million lines of code.
Wow.
I'm not surprised, but it's still horrifying.
I don't know if I'd have the patience to be a programmer.
Well, I mean, they're not doing it on their own. God help them if they had to pile out that much coding on their own. Like, that would be friggin' first female programmer. The one who, like, worked for NASA, because she's, like, shorter than all the coding she did. There's just stacks of code on paper.
It wasn't the code she did, that was the printout of the code the whole team did.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's just taller than her, and I'm like, no. No.
There are 13 million lines of code. I'm pretty sure that's taller than that.
Oh, and on top of that, you'd have to point out that they wouldn't have all the useful shortcuts that we do for, like, a bunch of just splunking down chunks of code back then.
Yeah, didn't they punch holes into cards to make
Yeah.
Oh, that was worse than that. And when they wanted to know, they threaded the code directly in the copper wires. They had those old women taking the code and threaded it in wires. But yeah, that was crazy.
it's physical coding.
As a note, is there a limitation to like how much the victims transform? Because I was like messing around with killing them over and over again, and currently they have some really messed up spines with stuff protruding from them. Their bodies are covered in glowing tattoos. They look quite interesting.
I can tell you there's 3 levels of merge victims. So we got level 1, 2, and 3. You witnessed level 3, and those guys are really badass.
Yeah, they are. They're super tanky. Since they're you mentioned the victims sort of fall under the purview of the cosmic gods, are they going to look different and act differently in the different sections of the station?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
all.
And so when they go to like between level 1, 2, and 3, they're also going to change a lot more for how they function too, I take it?
We'll just copy paste the same function for all those, so they probably have a slightly different mechanics when they die and they come back to life. But they are drastically different from one another. What you saw is the merge victim, the Scorch merge victim, we call them. So they are under the influence of the demon.
Wait, they're under the influence of the demon?
Yeah, you see the merge victim when they go level 2 and level 3, they glow red.
Like the wandering demon.
Yeah,
it's all the same family.
Yeah, that part of the station is taken over by demons. So you see the merge victim associated with those demons. Other part of the station, for example, the fat guys in the underground is another type of alien. It's not a demon; it's what we call a jester.
And yeah, the fat jesters. I've heard the reference as that.
And those guys are going to have their own kind of merge victims.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's kind of a big mix of all the families, but it's not going to be like that in the final game. The Mantis is not supposed to be in that area of the final game.
Oh. So like, is the part that's in the demo, is that like from the middle of the game, the start?
That's pretty much the middle. The thing is that once you exit the initial starting area of the station, you are free to go in either one of the 3 first levels. So this is one of the 3.
Okay. So it's like, it's a very open-ended game. So you said first of the 3 starting areas. How many areas are you envisioning total?
It really depends on a lot of different things like funding, publishers, and so on. So it's going to be between 5 and 8, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I was more or less wondering because you like have the gods already sort of made up, right?
Yeah, all of that is.
Okay, so how many is there that are made, and you know, if they don't get included in the main game, is there any way that there'll eventually be like support for a DLC if enough people buy this to get the rest of them in there?
It's very possible. You know what? I'm gonna call the DLC an expansion pack.
Oh hey, like old games. I'm looking at you, Brood Wars. Oh, the days of
like a proper expansion pack.
What it actually like adds like a whole new game, basically.
Expands your game, not just some content that you can download. No, an expansion. So it gives you a motivation to do the whole game again. Since the game is so based on replayability, that's the only way to go for us.
I can definitely approve of that sentiment.
So, like, you guys did something, definitely kind of different for Souls-likes, in that, at least in the demo, if you want to do multiplayer, you can literally just drop right into the game and go for it, which is kind of different for Dark Souls games that usually require you have a certain item and that both players be in the same area, and then you have to use the item to summon each other. So with all that, how much more or less of a focus is this game going to have on multiplayer when compared to other Souls-like games.
I think that's the symptom of us, getting old and having jobs and having kids and not having too much time to waste on things like that. You finally sit down with a friend to play, you want to be able to play right away, and that's where we decided not to make compromise. The PvP is not going to work the way it does in the demo. It was just plugged into the demo, so you're able to bash each other's face, but in the final game, it's going to be a little more like a gameplay mode. The exact details. Sorry?
So like a dual arena type thing?
Like a hunting gameplay.
Oh.
We really like the hunting dynamic by the level, so we're trying to expand on that. The cheap solution is to have the player, spawn somewhere inside the level strategically, depending on various game rules. Those spawn will be predetermined by me. But the cool thing that we really want to do, and we hope we'll be able to do, is the ghost mode. So once you join in PvP, the player is invisible to the other one, and you have to run around, choose when you want to spawn. And this is also linked to the control an enemy gameplay. So we really want to do it. I hope we'll be able to do it, but it's not guaranteed at that point.
The control an enemy thing, my only hope for that is that it requires someone to control an enemy that someone's killed, because it prevents you from cheesing by like having someone control an enemy and just make it stand there, and it might be like an enemy you needed to kill. So if they can only do it to an enemy you've already killed, it means you've had to do it the hard way, and then you turn your back on this enemy you've killed that gave you such a hard time. You're like, oh, thank goodness, then I have at least 10 minutes. And then it gets up and punches you in the back of the head.
Let's see, it was Resident Evil 6, I think, did something like that. If somebody was playing online, they could set their game to allow for basically invasions. And then what you could do is you could go in, see who was playing, and then drop into their game as a special zombie.
Mm-hmm. Those are all viable options. I mean, this is the type of thing that we gotta try different rules and see how it reacts.
Right.
Yeah, which I've noticed you've had a lot of discourse with like the people playing the game. Like you've been pretty open about answering everyone's questions and working with the people who have shown an interest in the game.
Yeah, that's the best part. I'm kind of sad that we're gonna have to go back a little bit behind closed door to make the rest of the game until the alpha is released, but it's been an amazing experience. I love it that way. It's something that you can't do in huge studios. You don't have access directly to your player. You only have certain playtest session once a month where you can talk to the players. But in Cradle, I mean, we're completely free to do whatever the hell we want to. Just come chat with us any time of the day. So every night I'm gonna pop in there and ask some questions, and chat with the guys. I just love it. I think we're all addicted to it now.
Sorry, and then call.
That's why I live in that Discord channel.
Cheers, guys.
All right.
Yeah, have a good one.
Any final words for the recording posterity?
That was the crew from Cradle Games. I'll make sure to get a link to their Kickstarter page, their Patreon, all that stuff.
Well, the Kickstarter was recently finished successfully, but they do have a page
for
donations.
The page, I was going to say, the page will stay open.
True enough. And they actually currently have a page for people to donate and so forth.
So that'll definitely get in the description.
Yeah,
we on Steam. We played it. I highly recommend.
And,
definitely looking forward to seeing what the end product is.
And how, especially just seeing all the different ways they're going to deal with the system and interactions between players. I will say the one thing, as much as the couch co-op is nice, I am really hoping for a proper multiplayer thing, just because Sean lives in the States and I live in Canada. Sad face.
Yeah, so do we. I mean, we're working very hard to make it happen, but we'll have to see.
But yeah, definitely appreciate you guys popping in for this interview. And I mean, if there's anything that ends up getting not like if you end up figuring out new features or stuff on the in the future that aren't quite so on the down low, definitely can look forward to hearing from us again in future to talk about them. Especially when that
figure something out, because this isn't valuable. So I want to get the alpha out as early as possible, so we can get you guys back in the loop once more. And I think that's great.
All right.
Definitely on the list of things that are going to get played.
Oh, and how? Oh God, my poor social life. Wait, what social life?
You say I'm your social life.
And Lovey. She's been quietly listening to us.
Hello.
Anyways, so yeah, that's this episode of Crit Hit, and yeah, thanks.